Why the donation?
I think that Jeff spent a majority of his adult life on the Little League field, and he was a very hard worker. He'd take 5 days off a year and regretted doing that, and did not mind, especially during tax season, rushing home and rushing to the softball field, and didn't mind if the games lasted till 9. I think it brought him great joy. And so in memory and honor of the influence that he had on so many kids, and really being a part of that group of men who volunteered hours and hours and hours to turn our Little League program around, I felt like it was a great honor to what he respected and valued in his life.
So what was the tradition that Jeff would do after each game when he was coaching at Little League?
Well, when Craig was my son was at the Minford Little League system, he played t-ball, and there was this coach who would drive from Columbus, didn't have any kids on the team, and would coach the team, and at the end of the game give out these little balls that he had written on to these little t-ball kids. And I think it made such an impression on Jeff that from the moment he began coaching t-ball, at the end of every single game, he went in the dugout, he paced up and down the dugout, and he would hold a ball in his hand that he had written on with a marker, and the kids would sit on the edge of their seat wondering who was going to get the game ball. And it was always a kid that he noticed doing something in the game that probably wasn't the star. Like the one I have here was the first double my son ever got in Little League, and he was not a major hitter. And so Jeff would recognize these small improvements, and miraculously at the end of the season, every single player got a game ball. And so I am sure that these game balls are in the trunks, the closets, boxes all over the county, because he coached for probably 14 or 15 years. So there's a lot of balls with a lot of his marker of encouragement that he gave out to little kids.
So I noticed a lot of mornings, a lot of evenings, you walking around campus for the school. How come?
Well, I pray a lot. And I retired last year. One of the things I started doing at 6 o'clock in the morning was walking around the school to really pray for it. The other thing is, I think there's such a connection with that field and those kids, and the track, the football field. You know, I pray for the teams that are practicing there all the time. I think it also is so unique because it overlooks the Ohio River, and the beauty of the sunrise and the sunset are unique to this community and unique to where our school is located. And I think we are positioned in a very unique place with a lot of very gifted, dedicated people to youth. And I think walking around and surrounding all that, with me being so close to it, you know, makes me feel like I'm making an investment in the youth and the adults of tomorrow.
So that field is strategically placed between the school and the football stadium, and you've walked past that area many times. Now that there is the footprint of a softball field there, what do you think?
I personally am pretty excited that the football field is there with a sign that says John Eaton Way in front of it, because I feel like it is leaving legacies of a lot of people that invested immense hours in making sure that if you think about your dad and the investment he made in seeing that new school was built, and his dedication to seeing that new school was built, and the way it was built and the way it was combined and not separate schools, it seems like, for me, it's a lot of satisfaction when I drive down the road, because our girls need to be honored for the respect that we have in the state for our softball system, and they need to be honored. And I think the softball field's going to do that.
Yeah, and so the location, you like the location?
I'm pretty excited about the location.
So we've been able to complete the first phase of the project. You see the field, the infield, the backstop, the outfield fence. The second phase is getting ready to take place, where the school is invested in the buildings that will go around the field. There's a third and a fourth phase that we are planning down the road in order to complete the project. This project wouldn't have been started without your generosity in memory of your husband. So now we've got a great jump start into this project, and we're looking forward to finishing this project, especially in Jeff's honor. And I think about his grandkids that obviously didn't get to meet Jeff, but the fact that as they come into town, they visit both your daughters, your son, your grandkids. Now they'll have a place that you can point to that was basically started because of the donation that you made in memory of your husband. So tell me how important that is to you.
I think the sad part about losing somebody at the age Jeff did, all they're left with, all the kids have a grasp of, were memories from people, and they are not really going to be able to totally capture the influence that Jeff had in the youth of this community, and not just with softball. We taught high school Sunday school for 40 years. So Jeff's footprint in forming people's opinions about what an adult does, how you value work, what your character is, what your integrity is. I feel like for the grandkids, it gives me an opportunity to say, he volunteered hours at the Little League fields to influence the next generation, and this is a reflection of what was really important to him as a challenge to help them really think through, what kind of a difference do you want to make in your life, and what kind of things would you like to copy from your grandfather, because these are the things that he valued. He valued an investment in the youth of tomorrow. And I think for me, the funniest is there's no way we ever celebrated a wedding anniversary in March, because it was Little League signups. And there's no way Jeff was ever gonna miss Little League signups for anything. And I think being able to drive past a softball field and remind them of that means every time they come to visit, they have a reminder of the fact that there was someone they didn't meet that's left a legacy in the community.
Okay, last thing, obviously in order for us to be able to have the things that we aspire to have for our kids here in the community, we have to have people like yourself that step up, donate time, donate money, donate in any which way that they can in order to finish this project and to perform the completion of other projects that we aspire to do. It's never ending. What do you have to say for the other members in the community on how they can kind of support this project and future projects we plan on doing?
I think that everybody could give a little, and I think that we take for granted the hours and hours and hours of volunteer coaching that we have in our area, people that are working off season with kids, people that are willing to donate many hours to follow these teams to different cities. And I think that even if you couldn't give a big donation, a lot of people donating a little bit would have this project finished. And I think that it would be a great honor to, show some respect for the coaches that have influenced and supported your own kids. It'd be a way to honor them.
Awesome. Thank you. This is the first video in a series of videos we hope to do in the near future that will inform the community of not only the softball project as we work to complete it, but also other projects we hope to complete in the near future. We'd like to thank Kim Chaffin for her very generous donation as the reason why we were able to start the softball project last summer. We hope to complete the next phase this spring and summer, and hopefully with the support of the community, we can complete the project for next year. If you'd like to donate, you can do so by scanning the QR code or even stopping down at the board office to make a donation. We will make sure that all our donors are recognized in accordance to the amounts that they've donated. So please support this project and other projects. Thank you, and go Bird.